गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां वन्दे गुरुपरम्परां. So we have now completed the journey and we are in our last satsang. Hopefully not the last one in our life, but for this yatra the last one. And we are starting with the 47th verse of Sadachar. अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्याम् अन्वयव्यतिरेकाभ्याम् सर्वत्रैकं प्रपश्यति सर्वत्रैकं प्रपश्यति यत्तु तद्वृत्तिजं ज्ञानम् यत्तु तद्वृत्तिजं ज्ञानम् विज्ञानं ज्ञानमात्रकम् विज्ञानं ज्ञानमात्रकम्. By the technique of presence and absence, that thought which is able to perceive the oneness in the many is called jnanam. That thought. So that your conviction. So what is this? The technique of presence and absence? That presence of a thought, presence of Om, absence of Om. Someone is watching this, isn't it? That the Om is appearing in the mind and disappearing. That disappearing of Om is called as absence. And appearance of Om is called as presence. So presence and absence by the technique of presence and absence. So now our attention is not on merely Om coming and going. Our attention is on presence of Om and absence of Om. Presence and absence. That thought which is able to perceive the oneness in the many is called jnanam. That this one in whose presence the presence and absence is taking place, that knowledge is called as jnanam. Very simple. It's not very difficult. In the dream, if you can understand that the entire dream creation, the dream world, appears in the mind, the material is the mind, the life is the mind, the creator of the dream is the mind, you can understand this much? This is called jnanam. This is called knowledge. Now we have to go one step beyond, and which is vijnanam. And what is that? While the self alone is and nothing else is, this non-dual experience of the self is called vijnanam. And when does vijnanam come about? When we give zero value to the presence as well as the absence. And it is not, you cannot conclude this by way of thinking. So Om is coming and going, for example, and you are in between sometimes the knowledge comes that I am other than the Om, appearance of Om, and I am other than the disappearance of Om. So I am other than appearance and disappearance of Om. Yeah, that's me. And the moment your attention shifts from presence and absence of Om to the one who is witnessing, that is Vijnanam. So that's one first way. Second option, you remain in the absence as the presence, the consciousness. Chair le jao. So don't give value to the absence saying that there is nothing. If that thought is coming in your mind, you are going the wrong way. So what do we say? Because nothing करके कोई चीज नहीं है, absence करके कोई चीज नहीं है. Either this table is, but when we say this table is not here, does it mean that not here is something? It is not. So it's logic. So here we say, so in the absence you remain without sleeping, you remain awake. That fellow is the Vijnanam. And the third option, which I have given you in meditation, that if you can't do the first one, if you can't do the second one, you catch the point where the Om concludes or begins, both, any of the point. So where does the Om begin? Catch the point. Where it concludes, catch the point. That is the Sandhi point. So any of these three options you apply, you will come to the essential self, the one without a second, the infinite consciousness. By the technique of the Anvaya Vyatirek, inclusion and exclusion, one is able to discover our common denomination without any trace of doubt. Prapashyati. This understanding is called jnana. So coming to be the one who is other than the presence and the absence is called as jnana. By the process of vivek khyati, discrimination between the substratum and the superimposed has ended, and the experience is established. Therefore, in the experience, there is no knowledge differentiation. This is Vijnana. So what is Vijnana? Where there is no thought process involved, that is Vijnana. Vivek khyati. Vivek means what? Discrimination. Discrimination between that which is changing and that which is permanent. So who is permanent? You are permanent. What is changing? The appearance and the disappearance of Om is changing, isn't it? If this realization, and that realization then brings you to wean your attention away from the presence and absence and come to the original, this is called Viveka Khyati. Viveka Khyati is the conclusion of discrimination, and that is called as Vijnana. Thus, only knowledge, jnana matrakam, is called Vijnana. So, only knowledge without a thought is called Vijnana. Now, you will think, how is this possible, that knowledge without a thought? How many times do you think you are the body? Throughout your life, how many times you have thought you are the body? You are not. How many times you have thought, I am alive between the thoughts? You are not thought, you are just there, isn't it? So it is possible, because it is your, nothing in scriptures is given which is not your experience at this moment. So when they are saying this, our attempt should be, if scriptures is saying this, it must be right. Now let me find out where it is happening in my life, where it is happening in my experience, and come to realize. This is what is called Brahma Abhyasa, the practice of knowledge. This is Brahma Abhyasa. I know people in Melbourne, for 20 years they are chanting Om, 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 जोर से चिल्लाते हैं. No change. Still the same. Still running after the world. Still running tu मैं. If you have been doing 20-30 years of Om, bloody there should be some transformation. Then why the transformation has not happened? Question to be asked, isn't it? If we have been doing japa for so many years, if we have been doing puja for so many years, if we have been chanting the mantras for so many years, why transformation is not happening? Why body disidentification is not happening? Why abidance in the divine is not taking place, at least a glimpse. This is the reason. Because we don't understand, we are just doing it mechanically. So therefore, a teacher is necessary. Study, and yes, you have practiced it so many years. I also did, 14 years I did. After that I found the teacher found me. Not that I found the teacher, he found me. But after 14 years. But till then, I was also like this, chanting, meditating. Yes, meditating, but transformation, temporary transformation, not a lasting one. Shloka 48. Ajnana dhvamsakam jnanam. Ajnana dhvamsakam jnanam. Vijnanam chobhayatmakam. Vijnanam chobhayatmakam. Jnana vijnana nishteyam. Jnana vijnana nishteyam. Tat sad brahmani charpanam. Tat sad brahmani charpanam. The dispeller of ignorance is knowledge, jnanam. Both the jnanam and ignorance are illumined by the vijnanam. Knowledge and ignorance, both are just like the sun is unaffected by the day and night. Day in this case will be jnanam, night will be ajnanam, and the sun will be vijnanam. So now apply this rule with the sun and day and night in yourself. Who are you? The vijnanam. What is the day? The knowledge, the jnanam, thought knowledge. And what is ignorance? Absence of knowledge. See? And come back to yourself. You have to keep reminding this to yourself, then it will happen. This jnana, vijnana together abide in the Supreme Brahman, which is eternal. Just as the day and night cannot happen without the sun. Similarly, so now tell me, is there day and night in the sun? Then where is day and night?
There is no day and night.
Huh?
In your thoughts.
What ठीक है? Where is day and night? It's your experience every day, isn't it? So where is it? It's only on the Earth's atmosphere. Once you go out into the space, there is only dark light. There is no light. There is only dark light. Light only appears when it refracts through certain particles in the atmosphere, right? Only then light comes about. So from sun's point of view, neither there is day nor there is night. But can the day and night on the earth appear without the sun? Cannot, isn't it? Exactly the same way. Do you see a sun and a moon and the stars and the clouds and the rains in the dream? You do, don't you? Huh? Who says when you wake up from the dream, who says, it was just a figment of imagination of my mind? Who says that after waking up? Is it the dreamer who's saying it? He cannot say it. Is it the waker who's saying it? The waker has got no entry in the dream, so he cannot say it. Then who is saying it? Vijnanam. You come to a standstill. When you ask this question, you come to a standstill. And in that standstill moment, in that poise, you are that. Expose yourself to this point again and again with proper inquiry, with proper study. Thought of ignorance is destroyed by knowledge. Knowledge negates the ignorance. Vijnana does not negate anything. Sun does not. Day removes night. Night overpowers day. But the sun does not get affected by any of them. Similarly, the conscious self, the Vijnanam, it is not affected by the knowledge or by the ignorance. Vijnana does not negate anything. Everything is supported by the consciousness. So you are that consciousness. And how are we living our life? I don't want good. I don't want bad. I want only good. I don't like this. I only like that. No, you have to maintain the poise where you are equanimous towards everything that the life is throwing at you without reaction, knowing that everything that the world is presenting itself on the platter to you is you alone. Is you alone. Wow. That murderer also I am, that healer also I am, that thief also I am, but not as a thief and as a murderer and as a doctor and as a healer, but as the consciousness which is expressing through them. Therefore, lesser the choice we give to ourselves, nearer we are to the reality. We have repeated this many times. Lesser the thoughts, lesser is the individuality. Zero thoughts, zero is individuality. Where there is zero individuality, the reality reveals itself. As reality is choiceless existence. Choiceless existence is not opposed to anything in this world. Now you think, sometimes when I go to different houses, so Bhiksha, Brahmarpanam, Brahmaye, Brahmagno, Brahmanatam, then I say attack. And all mothers quickly पटापट अपने बच्चों को जाके खिलाना शुरू करती है. They will not feed other kids. They will only feed their kids. But when I call, all kids make a line and I feed them from my plate. What is the difference?
I think they are the same. There's no difference.
From my point of view, all are kids. No like or no dislike. But from mother's point of view, this is my kid. I know what he likes or what she likes. I should take care. If that kid doesn't eat, then he will go hungry to bed. Change the attitude. If you want to grow, well, we don't have to grow in that sense कि जबरदस्ती जाके बाहर कुछ change करना है. You come back to yourself and automatically the transformation will happen. Firm abidance in Jnana Vijnana is when one is established in the Absolute, the Supreme Brahman, by the process of elimination, discarding the not self. So you can only come to the Vijnana by discarding that which is changing. The appearance of the thought and the disappearance of the thought both are mutually coexisting, and I am other than both of them. Continuing. भोक्ता सत्वगुण शुद्धो भोक्ता सत्वगुण शुद्धो भोगानां साधनं रजः भोगानां साधनं रजः भोग्यं तमोगुणं प्राहुः भोग्यं तमोगुणं प्राहुः आत्मा चैषां प्रकाशकः. The Sattva Guna is the enjoyer, the Rajo Guna provides the instruments of enjoyment, the Tamo Guna creates the object of enjoyment, and the pure self is the illuminator of these three, that is the enjoyer, the instruments of enjoyment, and the objects of enjoyment. So what is Sattva Guna? It is the Prakriti. Now I'll tell you. Think. Just go with the flow what I'm telling you. Parabrahma Paramatma, he is all by himself. He says, yaar, akela bore ho raha hu. I need some game to play. I am so full of bliss. I want to expand my bliss. And the moment he thinks like this, but how can one think about like that? He has got no mind. But if he is everything, He is infinite. All possibilities are present in him. So he becomes aware of his potentiality. The moment he becomes aware of his potentiality, that Parabrahma Paramatma, the one without a second, the Ekameva Dvitiya, is called as Ishvara and Prakriti. That Ishvara and Prakriti, that Parabrahma Paramatma is called as Ishvara when Prakriti is not become Trigunatmika yet. She's just quiet for a moment. But when she becomes Trigunatmika, immediately the Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh are born. And they come about. Then Devtas come about. Then from this Trigunatmika, now at a personal level, individual level, what is the Sattva Guna? Because Trigunatmika, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. Everything is Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. Waking is Sattva, dream is Rajas, deep sleep is Tamas. Similarly, if we are talking about every thought is made up of subject, object and the instrument of knowledge, what is the subject? The I. Can the instrument enjoy? No. Can the object enjoy? No, it is inert. Only I can enjoy. So I is the Sattva Guna. Then what is the instrument of knowledge? What comes under the instrument of knowledge? The senses, the mind and the intellect, isn't it? So what are they? They are made out of Rajas. And what is the third component of a thought? Object. How many? As many as infinite number of objects. What are they made out of? Tamas. And this way a thought comes about. And you are the illuminator of that thought. Let the thought come, let the thought go. You are the Vijnanam, you are the self, you are the witness, you are the Sakshi. So, the objects of enjoyment and the pure self is the illuminator of these, that is the enjoyer and these three. So this idea is clear? Okay, we move ahead. We have to conclude. Brahmadhyayana Sanyukto Brahmadhyayana Sanyukto Brahmacharya Ratah Sada Brahmacharya Ratah Sada Sarvam Brahmeti Yo Veda Sarvam Brahmeti Yo Veda Brahmachari Sa Uchyate Brahmachari Sa Uchyate. So the one who is constantly engaged in the study of the Upanishads, contemplation on the self, and who knows that everything is that but Brahman, is called a brahmachari. Brahmacharati iti brahmachari. Chari means the one who walks. The one who walks the path towards Brahman. He is brahmachari. Not controlling your vitalities. I will not eat this, I will not eat that. All that is okay at the body level. But there are other levels to your personality also. You are not only body, you are not only breath, you are not only mind, you are not only intellect, you are consciousness. So one who is continuously thinking, he is the consciousness, and that consciousness is one without a second, pervading everything. He is a brahmachari. The first stage in life is brahmacharya. In this verse, the seeker draws the complete picture of brahmachari's life. Brahmachari is one who is engrossed in the study of scriptures. He is dedicated and committed to his study and therefore is not indulgent in the outside world. Not indulgent in the outside world. अभी पहुंचे भी नहीं, पहले थामेल जाना है. So I'm just joking, but think. He is celibate and lives under the strict discipline of his teacher. Due to this, he develops complete control over his senses and strength of character. He is strong but not obstinate. You can't mess with such a person. You can't fool such a person. because his effulgence is so much. Where there is light, darkness cannot remain. Brahmachari is he who is shining in his own essential nature, because he is continuously thinking of it. See? So when you come down to the body level, when you come down to relationship level, then the definition of brahmacharya is different. But we are not going into that brahmacharya definition. We are talking about the ultimate. The one who walks, one who is contemplating, one who is studying the scriptures to be the infinite reality, he is brahmachari. And this is lost in our culture right now. Once upon a time in the Gurukul, the first thing that the teacher used to teach once the child reaches his puberty, after having initiated him into Gayatri Mantra, the meaning was not told. Only Gayatri Mantra was start chanting so many times during the day, 3 times a day. After he does it for a few years, automatically inquisitiveness comes. What am I chanting every day? What is the meaning of it? Then the teacher used to tell the meaning. And then he was initiated. So what was Gurukul system? To show you what is the purpose of life. And after having studied the scriptures, the Sanskrit, the profession, along with the scriptures, and once you know what the purpose of life is to be the infinite reality, to merge in the divine. After that, by the force of nature, because you are born as a human being, someone will get married, someone will go into certain profession, someone will become a sannyasi, someone will become a yogi. That is their propensity from within, which is expressing. But whichever path whether you take the gruhastha path, whether you take the yogi path, whether you take the kundalini path, whether you take the kriya yoga path, whether you take the sannyasi path, doesn't matter. But you're all at that time were clear that our goal is to realize the truth. With this, he gained the knowledge that there is Brahman everywhere. So when he studied in the Gurukul, he came to know, he contemplating, he studying the scriptures, he is meditating, and he comes to realize that the Brahman, even if it is a conviction in his mind, it has not become a direct experience, but he knows there is one reality everywhere. The divinity is everywhere. This knowledge and the experience of the knowledge has changed his vision of life. He is aware that there is one absolute reality illuminating, yet untouched by the Jiva Jagat Ishwar. So that one reality is pervading in and through the Jiva Jagat Ishwar. That water is expressing in and through the Ishvara, the ocean, and the Jiva, the waves, and the Jagat, the multitude of waves. But water is untouched by the appearance and disappearance of ocean. Water is untouched by the appearance and disappearance of the waves. In fact, from water's point of view, there is no ocean and there is no wave. Exactly the same way. Once this transformation happens, that I am Brahmatmaikya Bodh happens, then everything is going on, yet nothing is going on. फिर उसके बाद जैसे बच्चे कैरम खेलते हैं या ऊनो खेलते हैं, एंड यू हैव टू पास टाइम जब तक खाना नहीं मिलता, तो बच्चे के साथ तुम खेल रहे हो, थोड़ा चीटिंग कर लो, वो चिल्लाएगा स्वामी जी चीटेड दिस दैट, बट यू आर डूइंग इट फॉर द फन सेक, एंड देन यू पर्पसली पुट योर कार्ड्स इन देयर एंड ऐसे यू वन एंड ही इज सो हैप्पी. हुआ क्या? डिड एनीथिंग हैपन देयर? नथिंग हैपन, येट ही इज हैप्पी. पहले रुलाया, उसके बाद हंसा दिया. That is what is going on in this world. Such a person is called brahmachari. So brahmachari is one who is walking the path to the truth or established in the truth. Now for the grahastha. Grahastho gunamadhyastha. Grahastho gunamadhyastha. Shariram gruhamuchyate. Shariram gruhamuchyate. गुणा कुर्वन्ति कर्माणि गुणा कुर्वन्ति कर्माणि नाहं कर्तेति बुद्धिमान् नाहं कर्तेति बुद्धिमान्. The body is the house, the one who is in the midst of the properties, gunas of the body is the gruhastha, the householder. The gunas perform all the actions. I am not the doer. Such a gruhastha is a wise man. Now, this is your definition. If you are a gruhastha, as a husband, wife, father, mother, son, daughter, so what should be your disposition? Your disposition should be, I am not the doer. Just like sun does not do or create day and night, the revolution of the earth brings about day and night, isn't it? Are you creating waking dream and deep sleep, or it is happening? Happening. Similarly, all activity at the level of body, breath, mind and intellect, you are not doing it. It is happening. On what account? It is happening on the account of sattva, rajas, tamas. To take ownership that I am pure and I am good and I am not going to do this. No, you remain focused on the conscious principle. The outside will automatically sort itself out. See, all the students in the classroom, what do? जब क्लास में टीचर नहीं होती है तो क्या होता है? We are taking the pellets, hitting the girls, and the chairs are going here and there, and one person is standing at the door and he's looking. Teacher आ रही है क्या? और जैसे ही वो, the moment that fellow who is standing at the door comes in, ओई darwaza band, because teacher has to open the door. The moment, that 5 seconds, the whole class is in order. Isn't it? If you are alert towards the consciousness in that manner, the mind will sort itself out. You don't have to worry. You have not created life, you have not created birth, you have not created death, you have not created growth, you have not created knowledge, you have not created ignorance. Everything is happening. And this stupid idiot called ego says, I am doing it. This is the lesson for the grahastha here, without going too much into detail. एक चीज लिख लेते हैं, क्या बोल रहा है? Grahastha is tied to the hope of attachment of me and mine. This hope is identifying self as body. He is caught up in this world, and therefore he must bring his attention again and again to the conscious principle, the witnessing consciousness. And for that, attend satsang, do your japa, attend the satsang, purify yourself. You have listened to it now. You have a choice. I either be convinced what Sadachar is telling is true and therefore imbibe it right here and now, or just accept it at a surface level and come up with 100 more questions, and then maybe next life those questions will be answered. However, there are some wise householders who know and say, I am not the doer. So everything is Prabhu Ichha. Hari Om. Don't take ownership. The sadhana for the householder, therefore, is to give up the doership. Ego expresses as two. What is that? अभी तो एक आंसर तो मिल गया. No. Doership is one. Karta. And what is the other? Bhokta. So ego expresses as karta and bhokta, doer and enjoyer. You have to drop both of them. You have to drop. And how do you do it? By recognizing that everything is happening by Prabhu Ichha. Not because, but here, simple cough you cannot invoke a cough. It also happens by his will. Hunger comes by his will. Breath goes in and out by his will. And you are saying, मैं चला रहा हूँ अपनी जिंदगी. Continuing. Kimugraischa tapobhischa. Kimugraischa tapobhischa. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha. Yasya jnanamayam tapaha. Harsha vinirmukto. Harsha vinirmukto. Vanaprastha sa uchyate. So in these last few verses, the four stages of life is told: brahmacharya, gruhastha, vanaprastha, and sannyas. So brahmachari we saw, gruhastha we have seen, now vanaprastha. What is it? He whose tapas, austerities, is knowledge. What is the use of very strict and difficult bodily austerities for him? So one who has committed to knowledge. And what is knowledge? To committed to seeking out what his essential nature is. For such a person, fasting, doing vratas, and standing on one leg, or doing pranayam or yoga, what is the use of all that? When you are committed to the consciousness, why do you want to come back to the body level? Why do you want to come back to, after you have finished your year 12 and university, why do you want to go back to year 1? A for apple, B for bear. That is like that. क्योंकि इससे क्या होता है? Ego बढ़ता है. I have done something. I have become the doer. And that gives us satisfaction. That I was able to accomplish 9 days of eating without food. Only milk and banana. And then advertise everywhere. Socho. So then the one who is freed from the thought of pleasure and pain is called vanaprastha by the wise men. He who is free of pleasure and pain. Where do pleasure and pain come from?
Desires.
From likes and dislikes. So live a life free of likes and dislikes. Be neutral. फिर मजा क्या है? ड्रामा करो. अंदर अफेक्ट मत होने दो. अंदर से अफेक्ट नहीं होना है. बाहर ड्रामा करो. That knack you have to develop, and that will get developed if you are focused towards the self. It will automatically get developed because as the mind, the thoughts in the mind reduce, this knack automatically starts expressing itself. The third stage in life is vanaprastha ashram, withdrawal from the world. Withdrawal from the world means what? Very technically, that a husband and wife start living like brother and sister. Husband does not depend on wife does not depend on husband. They live in separate rooms. They are committed to the scriptures and self-inquiry or their tapasya, whatever they are doing. And when do you start this vanaprastha? Not when you are about to die. The moment your children turn 21, 22 and they are able to stand on their feet, you have given them the education, begin this journey of self-perfection. Why? Because as a brahmachari also you were thinking about the self-perfection, as grahastha also you were thinking of self-perfection, but now all your responsibilities are over and you are free to pursue it with full force. And not live an indulgent life. Time for vanaprastha is when, same thing what I was saying, have become householders in their own right, and when his rights and duties are complete and done with. Now the time has come for him to renounce attachment with the world and the ego of doership and ownership. Stop living in the past. So I know Melbourne, इतने सारे parents हैं, grandparents हैं. The moment they got married, they had the children. Acha, you go and live separately. And now we have to pursue our scriptures. They come and attend class. You know them. They come and attend class. Every class they attend. Then what about the grandchildren? Nahi, when they need, they will call us. I go once a week to play with them, but let them live their life. Let them face their challenges. Let them find their own solutions. We did. ये एटीट्यूड रखना चाहिए. Otherwise, सुबह से लेके शाम तक. When lady, her son migrated to Brisbane, and she said, "Oh, they need my help, and I will go there." And she sold her house here and went there. And after 2-3 months of taking care of the second baby, one day the son said, "Mom, you don't have to come today. We can handle ourselves." Immediately, Swamiji, my son said like this. अब मैं क्या करूं? मैंने कहा नौकरी ढूंढ. So now, because the son doesn't want her on a daily basis interfering in her life, then what is she going to do in a big 5-bedroom house all by herself? She had to find a job. She's well educated and everything, so she found a job. Ab busy hai. So kabhi don't over indulge in anything. But kya hai? They don't want to turn. They want to go for the Sangeet nights and all that, but they will not come for satsang. During vanaprastha, never spend a day without satsang. I have seen people, elderly Gujarati lady, her son is a pharmacist, daughter is working at home, housewife, and this lady, she has a room of her own, very disciplined life, very disciplined. From morning 4 o'clock she will get up, take shower, this, that, do the arti, do short puja, not too much puja, short puja, make all Radha, Krishna and all that very nice, and start reading Bhagavatam. And she'll read Bhagavatam for 2 hours. Then she'll get up, have a glass of milk, go for a walk inside the house or in the backyard, then come back. When her energy has come back, then she'll take her mala and she'll sit down for japa. Whole day you go into her presence, gruhastha. You go into her presence, you feel so loved and accepted, because she has got nothing to say to anyone. Only Krishna, 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 Krishna. And not just mechanically. She's seeing Krishna everywhere. That transformation has come about. Rise above happiness and intolerance. One who can achieve the above is living in vanaprastha ashrama, even if he is living in and surrounded by the family. So don't make family an excuse. Many people say, Swamiji, you are a sannyasi, it's very easy to say all this. We are gruhasthas. तो क्या तीर मार लिया क्या गृहस्थ का बन गए तो? Here all answers are being given. How you must conduct in every stage of your life. Continuing, Dehanyaso hi sannyaso. Dehanyaso hi sannyaso. Dehanyaso hi sannyaso. Dehanyaso hi sannyaso. Naiva kashaya vasasa. Naiva kashaya vasasa. Naiva kashaya vasasa. Naiva kashaya vasasa. Naham deho mahatmeti. Naham deho mahatmeti. Naham deho mahatmeti. Naham deho mahatmeti. Nishchayo jnana lakshanam. Nishchayo jnana lakshanam. Nishchayo jnana lakshanam. Nishchayo jnana lakshanam. Renunciation is the total rejection of I am the body notion. A renunciate is not a mere wearer of saffron clothes, this is about me, huh? Renunciation of I am the body notion is real sannyasa. He alone is a Mahatma, here sannyasi, who is rooted in the knowledge that I am not the body. So once I was walking in Coffs Harbour, walking in the ocean, and Swamiji was walking behind me. तो पीछे से आए और मेरे he put his hand on my shoulder. He says, "What are your thoughts on sannyasa?" Suddenly he is asking. I am enjoying walking in the water. For one pause, and you have contemplated who you are and everything. I said, Swamiji, sannyas doesn't mean, sannyas really means that you are one with the truth. Samyak nyas. Samyak nyas means the one who is ever in the equanimous mode. And for that, it does not matter whether you are wearing ochre robes or black robes or white robes or pant, shirt, it does not matter. He says, Acha, you sure? मैंने कहा, yeah, I'm sure. And I don't, and from my point of view, I don't even need to be initiated into sannyas. Either you are a sannyasi from your heart or you are not. फिर उसी साल मेरे को संन्यास दे दिया. तो यहाँ पे क्या बताते हैं? Last stage of life is sannyasa. Who is a sannyasi? By merely putting on kashaya, saffron clothes, one does not become a sannyasi. A sannyasi is one who has given up the body identification, given up I am the body notion, and has recognized his true identity. See? It's not that he has recognized, but he is walking, he is committed to that path. He is continuously striving to be one with his essential nature, and he is oblivious to what is going on in the world. He has experienced his true identity, that he is the Supreme Self, living through all the bodies and not through any particular body. Therefore, no likes and dislikes, unconditional love towards one and all, no hatred or biasness towards anyone. He firmly abides in this knowledge. Initially he abides in this knowledge, and eventually it becomes his. And sannyasis also are two types. One, those who have done the sadhana and get and they have done the sadhana and then they get initiated into the knowledge like this. And the others are those who get initiated in the knowledge and then they do the sadhana. Both types are there. Continuing with the last verse now. Sadacharamimam nityam. Sadacharamimam nityam. Yenu sandadhate buddhaha. Yenu sandadate buddhaha. Samsara sagarat shigram. Samsara sagarat shigram. Muchyante natra sanshayah. Muchyante natra sanshayah. Those wise men who regularly and constantly inquire and reflect on this Sadachar text, they are liberated from the bondage of the world of transmigration. There is no doubt about it. A wise seeker who regularly inquires, contemplates, and follows on the thoughts of Sadachar given in this text, he is liberated quickly from this relative ocean of existence, meaning the world of existence, from the samsara sagara. No one should entertain any doubt about this. So with this, we conclude this text and hope that we revisit the verses of this and imbibe whatever has been expounded on these verses. Text is for you to keep and videos are available on the YouTube. You can listen for about any verse. You can always go back and listen to it. We have not covered it in great depth, but at the same time, we were all very, very focused to go to Kailash, so that focus requires only this much of explanation because you are available. So I wish that Lord Shiva and Parvati, to whose abode we went, they bless us that we are able to realize what Sadachar is told us. Sadachar means how to conduct yourself in daily life. This is the way to conduct yourself in daily life, ever immersed in the remembrance, ever immersed in the contemplation of the self that I am. And with that, may the text, may the Lord, may the Acharya Parampara bless us to realize this goal in our life. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Just sit quietly for a moment. Hari Om.